Hi, my name is Brant Steck. I'm Vice President at BUI, and with me today is Brian Seigel. Brian is BUI's Director of Advanced Planning and a former private practice estate and business planning attorney. And it's hard to deny that we are in sort of a different environment than what we're used to. And yet there seems to be a lot of estate planning attorneys that are quite busy. And I guess as estate planning, it doesn't seem like a natural time to think of estate planning, yet people are doing it. Why do you think that might be?
Well, we're at a time right now where there are more puppies and dogs being adopted than ever in the US. In addition, we're running a shortage on jigsaw puzzles. People have time on their hands right now. And so in having time, I'm not suggesting that people want to talk about estate planning topics.
I was wondering where you're going with the jigsaw puzzles and the puppies. I got to be honest with you.
Well, I haven't started making any
You
TikTok
connected.
videos
All
with
right.
the family yet, so we're good there. Uh, but while people may not be anxious to talk about estate planning, they're more open to it and more accessible. That's probably the most important aspect. And just to give you an example, in BUI's estate evaluation process, the review of a high net worth client's current estate plan, it is not before this entire pandemic arose. It wasn't out of the ordinary for it to take 3-4 weeks or so to get meetings on the calendar, just because everyone's calendars were very difficult to coordinate. Well, now I'm finding that it's taking a week or less. So people are open, they're available, and husband and wives are actually together, and the schedules are working out.
Yeah, that seems to always be the challenge is to get both spouses at the same time. And I guess the remote working helps with that.
It does, without a doubt.
Interesting. So last week I interviewed Michael Tesler, and we were talking about the low interest rate environment and the pressure that is putting on insurance carriers, and how that increases the need to review existing permanent life insurance policies. But from an overall estate planning perspective, the low interest environment could actually be a good thing.
Absolutely. And, there are a lot of strategies out there that require high interest rates. There are other estate planning strategies that require low interest rates. And now is a great time on a few different fronts. Number one, just in terms of using annual exclusion gifts, gifting away cash or other assets while values are depressed, and let them appreciate once they are outside of the estate. So that's on the more basic side. But as far as the low interest rates go, I haven't seen in my career this low of government rates. The current applicable federal rate is 1.15% for May. And that rate is used for a lot of different things, including intra-family loans, when assets are sold to an intentionally defective trust, when there's a private finance arrangement for life insurance inside of a trust. So instead of using gifting exemption, loaning the money to the trust, you're looking at a long-term rate of 1.15%. So at over 9 years. And so it's a fantastic way to be able to get money out of the estate and not do so by using a lot of gift tax exemption.
Gotcha.
And to be able to get a lot of cash and other assets to other family members. Just a unique time, certainly in my career.
Interesting. And when you think of estate planning and executing documents, you can't help but think about the required notary. Without the face-to-face contact, are clients still able to execute documents without breaking the social distance barrier?
Yeah, it's an excellent question. And the nice part is that in 36 states, there actually is already authorized electronic notarization. So it can be done, don't have to do face-to-face contact. They can all recognize social distancing without much of an issue. In other states, Missouri included, there is no electronic notarization, which makes things a little more complicated. But in most of those states, including Missouri, temporarily at least, they have authorized electronic notarization. The governor in Missouri just authorized that about 2 weeks ago. So it does allow for notarization without having to be face-to-face. So sign the documents, done by video, and then the notary can occur after the fact or along with it, just electronically. and there doesn't have to be any face-to-face contact in the process. Now, with being able to share documents through DocuSign or just sending through email and printing and signing, either way, now it can all occur without actually physical face-to-face contact.
Interesting. It's funny how, in some ways, this has complicated things to no end, and in other ways, has actually made certain things easier. So,
Yeah, and it seems like going forward, even once we are able to have contact, I think we'll see a lot more of this. A lot of this technology is going to stick, and even in terms of the economy, I think we're going to see the low interest rate environment continue for an extended period, which as the economy starts to improve and those interest rates still start to come up a little bit, they're still incredibly low, and clients will have a unique opportunity to be able to do some advanced planning to, again, address potential estate taxation later down the line.
well, that's great. Well, Brian, thank you so much for the insight. Very helpful. If anybody has any questions related to estate planning, Brian is our not so secret weapon here. If you hear him talking about estate evaluation and you think I'm not really familiar with what that is, it may be the single biggest differentiator that BY has, and one of the biggest benefits of working with our firm. You should really reach out to the BY marketing team and learn more. Thank you, Brian, and we'll be back next week.